I got my friend in the business, Mr. Oscar Gonzalez, to talk about his new product and his done-for-you system. You're going to like what you're about to hear. So let's jump right in. And Oscar, give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself, and then we're going to do a bit of a discussion about your program and how it works.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate you. Always a pleasure being here and working together on projects. So, look, I've been around internet marketing and sales for most of my life. Prior to coming to insurance, which I've been in now for, almost 3 years now. Goes by real quick. But prior to that, I spent 8 years growing an e-com company where I sold products online, a lot of household goods. And we utilized video ads, affiliate marketing to promote those products. And, look, we grew that business to close to $6 million a year. Got onto the Inc. 5000 back in 2017. And in 2020, with COVID and everything that kind of was happening, I ended up exiting that business and made a transition into insurance through some good friends that I had that had been in the business for a long time. And basically, said, man, this is a good opportunity. You should come on board. So I came in as a media buyer for a big agency initially, and I helped them transition from buying age data and doing live transfers to generating their own leads using social. And so I did that for about a year, and I decided it was time to really get going and start. And so I went out on my own and initially started in ACA Health, and then added final expense shortly thereafter, really for the cash flow, and I was just, I was called to it and found you, and then, everything's just kind of history from there. But yeah, since then it's been great. We've been growing the ACA book of business, growing final expense, now have several agents that are working on the team. So things are going really well.
And I'll mention for Oscar here, Oscar's in a unique position for compared to a lot of these other joint ventures that we do with other course providers. Oscar's been in internet marketing like back when Instagram was new, so he understands that he's an OG. It's not just something he started last year or last week. So that counts for something big. And the number two is actually out there doing it. I think one of the last videos Oscar and I did, he's writing over the phone something like 40 final expense plans a month during open enrollment for health insurance. I think you wrote like 250 or 300 applications, personally talking to people, closing people. Like Oscar knows what he's talking about. And as we kind of go into this done-for-you system, keep that in mind, because having street cred, not just like 6 months or 12 months, but like years of it, makes a tremendous difference, because having that kind of experience in your corner is a tremendous game changer. So let's start there, Oscar, if you don't mind, what is this system about? What are we offering today? And then let's go into some of the details of it as you describe it.
Sure. So when I came in and I ramped up video ads and lead generation, I quickly saw the lack of it and what was missing in insurance, right? Most of the ads that are out there are all static images. Now you're starting to see some video. Now you're starting to see some agents actually put their face on video, which is really great to see. And so I realized that there's a lot of courses out there and things that you can kind of go through yourself and watch hours and hours of videos and then go and figure it out on your own. And I really saw a need for something that would help that agent or that agency get ramped up in running video ads on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, 30, 60-second long video ads that deliver the message, whether it's final expense, Medicare, ACA. And the idea is to get that person to, fill out your lead form. Then I really strongly push and work towards driving that person to booking a call and getting on a calendar. And if it's a bigger agency, then we talk about trying to connect those people live to an agent that might be available. And so the process of that, right? The process of doing the video editing, producing, B-rolling, finding actors, and then from there, using that creative to implement and start a Facebook ad account, a TikTok ad account, and then from there, do creative, build an ad, build an audience, and basically create the entire thing for that agent in a matter of days. And it just streamlines the process, right? If you're a new agent or coming into this business, you need to start producing yesterday. And so that speed and that how quickly you can start either, that's why buying leads is so attractive, right? Because tomorrow I can start selling deals. And so if you want to make a transition into lead gen, I saw that the biggest hurdle was how fast can somebody do that?
Right.
And that's what this program does. We do everything from A to Z. We set up the entire thing for you. And once it's set up, I provide a 30-day ad management where I'm showing you how the program works, what to do, things to look out for, and then really scaling from there.
So hold that thought here. A couple of things here, just recap for everybody watching this. Number one, so what this is different than what we usually highlight. This is not a course. This is Oscar and his team doing this all for you. Very, very important distinction here. This is why if you guys have seen some of my older videos, I don't like a lot of the courses out there. I know I sell them because some of you won't listen to them. I'm just going to sell them anyway. If you want to buy them, sure, fine. But I prefer buying leads or doing something like this because there's so much to learn in this business, guys. And if you got to sit here and like go through this process and lose just a ton of your momentum, what invariably happens is it's failure to launch. People don't actually get out there and sell anything. And so what Oscar's solution is doing is it's almost like buying leads. You just point and click. They set it up for you. They do the whole thing. And now instead of having to pay retail, you're paying wholesale. It's pretty sweet, guys. Okay, so understand that's the biggest benefit, I think, of this system and how it differentiates itself with the other courses and the other stuff that's out there. Now, one thing I want to clarify is because I'm sure people are going to be asking, okay, this is done for you. You're doing this for us. That we have different platforms you mentioned that we can do the video-based ads. Is kind of the focus here.
Yeah.
What products make the most sense to work with you on? Is this just for final expense? Is this just for ACA? Kind of describe that for us.
So I do life within life is probably my biggest focus. Final expense. I do probably the majority of, and I also do a lot of health, whether it's ACA or fully underwritten medical. I think probably one of my second or biggest clients is a under 65 fully underwritten health agency. And so it really comes down to, do we have an audience on Facebook or on TikTok to target? And then around that, we can create and customize those videos to target those audience and those folks.
So again, and again, for the people who have watched our last video, because what'll happen, people watch this and they'll see an old video and they'll say, oh, this is just for TikTok. We're just talking about TikTok. Explain that, because this isn't just for one particular platform. Just make sure everybody understands that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think if you watch any of my own content, and I post quite a bit on socials, and you'll see that, and we've talked about this, right? In business and insurance and any business, you have to be ready to pivot. And so when I started running ads in insurance, right, which was early last year is when I really kicked into gear. I went into TikTok because last year early and through the middle and even through the end of the year, gosh, the conversions were moving really well. There was a lot of opportunity there, and not many marketers or agents had any idea about utilizing it. And so I saw the opportunity. I quickly went into it, right? Now, fast forward to where we are now. Now you have 6 states that have banned TikTok or in the process of banning it. And so I think a lot of that chatter that's out there is 100% affecting advertisement in one way or another. And so I had to pivot, right? Not just in this business, but in my own agency where I was running 80-90% of my ads and final expense and ACA were going on TikTok and the rest on Facebook. I've now shifted that. You know, I'm now running majority Facebook and a small percentage on TikTok. I remain on TikTok because I think there's still opportunity there. And if things do settle, I think that's a huge opportunity. I personally continue to post on TikTok heavily, right? I'm posting content on there daily. And so I don't think the platform is going away. And until they come out and say TikTok is shut down, I'm going to continue building my audience there because I think it's it's opportunity. Yeah, right now we're really focusing on Facebook, Instagram, and I'll set up both. So any client that comes in, we're going to set them both TikTok and Facebook. And if they want to dabble into TikTok, we can do a small percentage of the ad spend on there. But I do focus on, especially newer agents, just get on one platform. Let's focus on there. Let's get you leads and get you moving.
So when they begin working with you, what's the turnaround time before they start seeing leads come in?
Right now, I'm turning setups over in about 3 to 5 days, business days. So it's just now a pretty well-oiled machine on my end. I have a good team, and so we're cranking it out. That video gets produced. We got an actor, production, B-roll. It's out in 3 days, and then from there, we're just putting together the back-end stuff, CRM, the ad and all that, and then just tying it together. So I would say about 5 business days is what we're turning over setups. The ad goes live. Now, it's important to note that if you're a new agent and you're just starting out and we're just setting up a Facebook ad account for you for the first time, that's a new ad account. So we need to take things a little bit slow. You can't just go in and go crazy on it. And so we set it up, we start the ad, but you really do start seeing leads from the moment that ad gets approved, typically a day or two, leads start trickling in.
What now? I know you can't guarantee price because ultimately it's a bid system and it varies by all sorts of variables. But what kind of prices can agents expect to see? Because they're going to be thinking, well, I can buy this course and then get the lead cost, or I could buy my own leads or do it myself. What are you seeing as being kind of a range of conversion prices or lead prices for, let's say, final expense, since that's most people who are watching?
Yep. So I think that the goal in final expense, if you're doing lead generation, should be sub $10 leads. That's where you really, it makes sense. Because if not, you can go buy them for 13 to 15 bucks or under 20 now. Those lead costs really have come down a bit. And so you really want to focus on generating sub $10 leads. Now, states is a big thing. And so that's something that I see with agents, now more than ever, is the more states that you have, the lower your lead costs are, because you're casting a net to a wider audience of people, right? So if you think about, all right, I'm licensed in 1 state or 2 states, you can get things going, and you should, because you want to start getting sales. But as soon as money starts trickling in, I really, and I do this with my agents, they need to start investing into these licenses like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it is for me, it's probably, if not the most important factor in what delivers lead price, and what determines it is the amount of states that an agent or agency is working in.
Now, the implication here to some extent is that this is mostly who you're working with are telesales agents, remote, right? Because they can work as many states as they can afford, and more geography lowers the average price. But for the agent out there who's face-to-face, do you work with those agents? What would you expect them to experience as far as lead cost and getting leads?
I do. Yep. I do have a good amount of those face-to-face and local agents. Those agents can range, depending on that state, under 20, so sub 20, sub $25 lead, somewhere in that range, I think is fair. Look, sometimes you hit a honeypot, and I'll have agents that just go on a run and are generating face-to-face leads for 10 bucks, 11 bucks. And then I'll have agents that are $22, $24. And so it's hard to always tell. It's important that, when agents think about going into lead generation, that they really understand the concept of marketing, at least the basic, right? Which is testing, and the repetition. Just like as an agent, to be successful, you have to get repetitions at presentations to get those sales. In marketing, you have to continuously be trying new things to find those honeypots or those little pockets of audience that can feed you leads at a really low price.
And what would a good ad spend for the first week, first month be expected for somebody starting with you? So
full-time agents, which is typically what I try to really work with mostly now, Part-time is just so tough. It's so tough for a part-time agent to make this process work. And so full-time agent, if it's a new ad account, that ad account is going to be capped at $50 a day anyways for a certain amount of time until a certain amount of conversions hit. And so I typically, every ad that I start around $20 to $30 a day and give that ad a few days, make sure that it's working properly. And then once we see that the ad is performing, you're getting good click-through rates, good views on the video, then I start quickly ramping up. And the idea is over the course, and this is something very important because I think this is a big bottleneck for agents that come into lead generation. And that is the idea that I start with $20 or $30 a day, and all of a sudden I'm getting $5 leads. So I got 4 leads today, right? And that agent calls those 4 leads, and then they'll call me and say, well, nobody picked up, or I didn't get a deal. And so the idea, guys, is volume, right? $20 a day is never going to cut it. And so you can't measure a lead campaign or an ad campaign on $20 a day. And so I find agents not able to take that risk once they see that, okay, the ad is working. You need to push this ad to 50, 80, you ideally want to get to where you're spending $500 to $800 a week.
Okay.
To get you 100 to 200 leads, if not more, per week. That should be your goal that you're building towards.
Yeah. And this is for the remote agent. It'd be a little less if you're face to face, because you can convert better because you can door knock with people and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make. Because part of the reason I'm sure you don't like working with part-timers, because coming up with the money to buy is the key thing. But that's what's cool about this, guys. It's like once you have a winner, man, you just let the thing run. It's like, how much money can you plow into this thing? Mm-hmm. You want to have the best problem the world will have, which is too many people to talk to, not the opposite, which is too few. And Oscar's system can get you there just with time and effort and testing. Next on the list of questions here. Here we go. This is a great question. I'm glad you had me ask. Properly working these leads, what would you recommend? Because I'm sure, like you said, you get somebody who says, yo, I got 4 leads. Nobody picked up. This sucks. Right. I want my money back. No, don't do that. There's a way to do this right. And if you're not with me, you probably haven't heard the right way. So I'll let Oscar do it because he works the stuff too. Tell us the best way to work these leads to get the best results out of them.
Yep. So this is a very important component of getting into lead generation, right? And how you work these leads and the mindset that you have on the other end. And so the idea here, guys, is volume, right? You're not trying to create this highly intent person that's ready to talk to you, that's just going to give you their money. You're looking for people that are interested in insurance, right? That you're trying to capture and get that lead. So when we talk about volume, you want to focus on the lead comes in, you got to hit it as soon as it comes in. Even if that person pre-books an appointment, and we do a ton of pre-booked appointments, right? We fill calendars with pre-booked appointments, but those show rates are low, and we work towards getting those better. But the point is, even if they pre-book an appointment, when that lead hits, you should be calling that lead. And you should be calling that lead somewhere between, we try to call that lead about 7 to 9 times within the first 3 days of that lead coming in, because that's the time that you have to make the contact. Obviously, the first 24 hours is your most important. And so you got to make sure you're staying on top of them. But getting them through automations, getting them through the phone, and then understanding that you're going to have people that don't pick up. You're going to have people that are going to say no to you. You're going to have people that don't show up to pre-booked appointments. And so the mindset of, if I get 100 leads a week, I know that if I'm getting training and good support, I should be able to close, 4 to 6 or 7 deals a week from that, somewhere in that vicinity, right? Mm-hmm. And so that means that 80, 90 people that filled out forms, you're likely not going to have pretty good conversations or conversations at all, right? So you can't focus on the people that don't pick up. You need to focus on the idea that, okay, we're done with that. Let me keep dialing, because the people that need this are here. I just need to get to them.
Yeah, needle in a haystack, baby. I mean, I think that's the thing most people need to understand getting into remote sales, especially, is the biggest issue is not the no's, it's the never pickups, and that's just inherent. And the only way to overcome is exactly like what you said. You have to have volume behind you. You have to have 100 plus, 150, 200 is better a week leads. And then your job's just to sift and sort through them to figure out who's going to buy and who isn't. And if you think you're going to do that with 50 leads a week, running 50 hours a week, ain't going to happen. Or you think that there's some magical high intent lead out there that's just waiting by their phone. When's Oscar going to call me so I can give it? No, it's not going to happen. No. You have to work, and part of that's putting the time in on the phone.
And I think when you see out there the guys that are the agents that are out there posting content, right, on like self-development and growing and how to do, gosh, those guys are taking 200-300 leads a week and they're writing $10,000-$15,000 a week. But that's because they have the volume, right? They've understood and gotten to that point that's like, okay, I have to take this risk. I have to lay out the money to get the volume, to get to the 10,000 a week, the 15,000 a week, the 8,000 a week, right? Which are great numbers to produce in this business. Yeah,
absolutely. So we got 200 leads a week coming in. It's a lot of data to sort. Do we need a CRM?
I would say yes. I mean, I guess you could do it without it. I don't recommend it. No. You'll find that agents will spend a lot of time, searching and shopping and like, which one do I go with? There's 100 of them, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're a new agent, right? If you're just starting out in this business and you're not running a big operation, go with something basic. Go with something that caters to an insurance agent. There's a ton of these, go high level variations out there that are very useful. They have automations, they got all that stuff. And that's going to be the best way for you to be most efficient, right? Get the leads. The leads would come in. They go directly in through a CRM automatically. They're organized into pipelines, and then automations are being fired off, text messages, booking bots, all that stuff to try to get that person to engage and book a call or just get you an opportunity to talk to them. And so I highly recommend CRMs. Just don't go and spend lots of money, because there's some that are very customizable and they're great if you're a big operation. But I've had agents that come on board, they're just starting out and they're spending $1,000, $2,000 to customize a CRM. Gosh, you just don't need that, right? Like, keep it simple.
Yeah, and Oscar can give you some recommendations. I can too. Just let us know in the comments below watching this. I mean, there's too many good ones is really what it is. It's just hard. Right. And then you'll get into this whole paralysis by analysis thing. You just take our recommendations and then run with it. You'll be all right. And then the last thing, I kind of interrupted you earlier on about the ad management side. I'd like you to go into detail with that, because here's the thing I've discovered, Oscar, is that when it comes with courses, done for you, done with you, whatever that's being sold, that the service after the sale is really a big differentiator. If it's not there, we've sold some products in the past where it wasn't there and it's a terrible experience. Refunds are higher and we don't want any of that. So service after the sale is really important. So can you talk about the kind of support you provide once you get everything set up, what agents can expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I coming from the e-com business and understanding how to maintain and how to really grow the service and what you provide after somebody buys, whether it's a phone case or a $3,000 product or service, that back end is everything. And so I spend a lot of time making sure that I'm supporting my clients, and I provide automatically, you're going to get a 30-day full on where I'm managing the ad. We're looking over things. We're jumping on a call once, if not twice a week. And I'm available via text 24/7 for all of my clients. I have clients right now that are back from January and are still texting me, hey, I'm trying to do this. What do you think? Can you help? And so I'm here. That's a big part of what we do here. And so full onboarding, we're doing everything for you. And then once we launch it, I'm doing my best to get you trained and get you understanding that within those 30 days. But I'm always available for clients. Again, I'm an insurance agent myself. I run an agency, and so I understand how frustrating it can be when you're trying to figure something out and not have anyone to go talk to. And so yeah, no, I'm here for that.
So Scale My Social is the product. It is a done for you program from A to Z, puts together the ads, video-based ads with multiple platforms, just like mentioned, service after the sale to make sure that you're up and running and running smoothly, getting leads very inexpensively, so to support your lead marketing ventures. This is something I highly recommend. I know I've known Oscar now almost 2 years now. He spoke at a couple of my events. We've done some videos together. He's a very moral person, good person to work with, does a good job, does a great job. And I highly recommend him. And if you'd like to proceed or learn more about the pricing, how this all works, and to get more details, all you got to do is go to scalemysocial.io/DeFord. That link is going to be below in the description box. Just look under the video, click where it says description. You should see it right there. Click that. This is an affiliate program. I get paid on the sales of any product that Oscar sells because of this video, just being fully upfront here. But I only work with people I feel strongly about that are good people, provide good products, and take care of agents. So again, scalemysocial.io/DeFord. And Oscar, thanks for your time, man.
Appreciate you. Always a pleasure, buddy. Thank you.